Hey guys, welcome to Talking Pest Management. My name is Daniel, I work with Futura, and today we're talking with Steve Gould. Steve Gould is from the UK, and we're having a Skype conversation today, and we're discussing pest management and its future within the next 5 to 10 years. So if you want to get in contact with Steve, his name is written Steve with a V. Steve is a very exceptional character in pest management industry, and this is why we're talking pest management today with him. Steve is very visionary. He knows the trends of the next couple of years. He knows where pest management is heading, and we're able to find out today. I'm lucky to spend a couple minutes with him. Enjoy. All right. Hi, Steve. Welcome to Talking Pest Management.
Thank you, Daniel. Glad to be here.
Really looked forward to speaking with you today and talking pest management. Could you inform the folks who you are? Just a few words on yourself.
I'm Steve Gould. I do training, assessing. What I really do is pass on knowledge, and I actually gain knowledge from other people. I embrace it, okay? And then we sort the wheat out from the chaff, and we move forward. I embrace technology a great deal because it is the future. It is present now. It's not the future. It's already happening. It just needs building on. I work for a Lantry as a trainer assessor, plus my own training, of course, which is more practical sometimes. So yeah, I'm just a guy that passes on knowledge. And I have friends globally that are always in contact with me. We're always talking about rat control, etc., around the globe. So I've got a lot of info coming in from a good base.
So go ahead, let me know. First question that I have to you is, what is wrong with the industry today? We're using a lot of poison. What's your take on that? Is poison still the way to go?
My take on that is, when you say what's wrong with the industry, I don't know how specific you're being. I like to say it's like we're being brainwashed, or people are being brainwashed, but not by the industry. They're brainwashing themselves into believing that rodenticide is the only way to react to a rat problem when it isn't. You know, especially when there's only a few rats, trapping is more beneficial than rodenticides. Mm-hmm. But you see, I have to come at this from two levels because I'm more agricultural, okay? But I do understand the city way of life as well. I understand the problems in there. So there's two different takes on rodenticide use. Personally, myself, and I might get bombarded with complaints about this, in cities, towns and villages where you've got small buildings, warehouses, houses, pubs, restaurants, etc., I think traps is the way you should be using, not rodenticides, especially with nut allergies, etc. out there now, what we know about, contamination, etc., etc. But if you go into the countryside, into the farming side, agricultural side, I'm going to have to be totally honest, sometimes rodenticide has to be used because of the volume of rats.
I agree. Totally agree.
But having said that, once you've knocked that population down, then traps should come in, and you should carry on with a trapping program. But as you know, my favourite of all is habitat management. Control the habitat, okay? Because all rat populations have a carrying capacity.
Proofing, hygiene.
Yeah.
Study them.
Yeah.
Proof it.
And all rats have a carrying capacity. All animals do. And if you can make a dent in that carrying capacity habitat, then you'll start controlling the rats. That's the way I've always done things, and that's the way I will carry on doing. And
what I want to throw in is also note that we're talking today per status quo in 2019 February. The year's going to pass on like this, and we're soon going to have. The more rodenticides are going to be phased out slowly or more limited by law and food standards, etc., the more people are innovating. And this is what I love. People are bringing out new products like every other week. And we are talking about new multi-catch traps for large infestations. So as you just said, your statement was based on today. We don't know what's going to happen in half a year or something. Maybe people have invented the best multi-catch trap ever for rats on farms. So maybe, I know, she told me.
Yeah, there is a lot of stuff in the pipeline, as you know.
I know.
We can't divulge too much, but
Nope.
there's a lot of exciting things coming, and some game changers. Yeah, definitely.
Great. Yeah.
But I think the rodenticide. I mean, I've been reading Alan Buckle's report. It says that farmers now are not doing as much long-term baiting, full-time baiting, gamekeepers, etc. They're all getting the message. You know, they're going more towards less rodenticide use, which I think is good advertised for the training side of our sector, because we are getting the message out there now.
Mm-hmm.
My own courses, it's very rare I mention rodenticides. I try and show them habitat management and trapping. To me, don't tell people what to do. Get them interested in doing it.
Yep,
and then you'll have them on your side. And if they see results, they will continue to use whatever you've taught them.
Absolutely. Yeah, so my next one would be talking about rodenticides. I would love to learn more about alternatives and how you think trapping, for instance, could result in being a strong alternatives to poison, or rodenticides, as we say.
Yeah, well, I would say rodenticide, I think, is going to be... I mean, I've talked to a lot of people just recently, and in fact, I was just talking to a few really knowledgeable people yesterday, and they all got this feeling that rodenticide is going to be totally banned in this country, completely gone. Personally, I can't see it because there's monetary factors behind that, you know, and you know what I mean. So I can't
totally know what you mean. Yeah.
But I can see it being more regulated.
Yeah.
But my worry is that there's a blame culture out there. Let's blame the farmers. Let's blame the gamekeepers. Totally. And it's wrong. We shouldn't be blaming anybody. What we should be doing is not talking about people. We should be talking to people and educating. And it's getting through is the message. But, you know, as you know, I talk to a lot of farmers. And they've all said to me that if the pest control industry thinks they're going to ban us from rodenticide use and we are going to roll over and employ pest controllers, they've got another thing coming. Because they won't. They just won't do it. They won't give in. And what you got to realise about, I'm talking about the farming industry, they're on site every single day. It's their business, their living. So when I show them that trapping is actually beneficial, because they can check them every day. And it doesn't take that long once the system's set up, half an hour to check the traps. But
not
because
even
of
if you have a
technology,
digital trap, which we all agree with when time flies and prices for digital systems, so remote systems or connected or smart systems, digital traps just fly down. So in future, I think it's going to be like a fifth of the price that we're currently paying for some modules.
Exactly.
So it's going to be probably going to be on Amazon, so people can purchase it anywhere. And especially farmers and gamekeepers are going to be enabled to use alternatives.
You're right, because when I show them the technology side of things, then they say, "Wow, we didn't even realise about this." Now they don't have to go out physically checking. You know, even somebody sat at home can do the checking for them.
Yeah.
You know, I've talked to you about companies could actually now sell this. Say, we'll put technology on your site, monitoring, alerts, etc., and they could do it for them and just sell that as a program. Not actually physically trapping, but just sell that as an alert system.
I actually have startups like new pest control businesses. You know, Germany and the UK are very comparable markets where you have probably over 1,000 small pest control company, like, 1 or 2 man bands. I have startups that contact us and purchase the emitter beep, which I know the small beeping device that beeps when a trap goes off. And they only sell and rent that product to supermarkets, shops, and bars and restaurants. And speaking about monetization, it's obviously paid off after a few months, and afterwards it becomes the passive income that everybody talks about. But I think, it can actually be feasible to also sell these products and make it a profitable business, whilst at the same time even being very ecological and effective.
Exactly.
I truly think that, yes, absolutely agree.
I used to do that. I used to rent these stations out. I didn't sell them, I rented them. And then I rented the service behind it. And so everybody was happy. and the cost to them is not that high anymore. They don't have to buy it. I'm laying out for the product and I'm renting and getting my money back that way.
Yeah.
But I'm building contracts up.
Totally agree with you. And in future, I mean, as you know, we also have a lot of pest control businesses that are like service businesses that are partners, and those who focused in the last couple of years on digital trapping grew a lot in turnover, but kept the same amount of technicians. This is an effect that's going to play out in the next couple of years very dramatically, and which I find super cool because you have to drive down your logistics and driving around for basically just bait box opening, which we are a very proud industry. And I think a lot of us, like we're missing our perspective and the honor that we as pest managers have for the industry, for food and pharma and site security. Because we kind of, a couple of our people just went back to just bait openers and drive from site to site and really, really quickly and just forget about quality, forget about what they learned in pest management school and looking upwards and downwards, looking for holes and proofing issues. People are just bait jockeys, as you said. So I really admire technology because it will help us gain the respect again.
Well, it does. But you're also buying time.
Totally.
You're buying back time to do the excluding, the proofing, the habitat management. You're providing an add-on quality service now. You're not just the rat man no more.
You
know? And that's what we've got to get away from, that stigma.
I agree.
The rat man. You know? But yeah, technology is definitely going to play a huge part. And I've talked to you, and I've talked to quite a few others. I mean, I travel around doing the young farmers and training at colleges and stuff. And we have these generations, and the next one is the Generation Z. And they are so technology savvy, it's unbelievable. You know, they go to the fridge and they click on a barcode and it orders the milk for them and it's delivered within an hour or 2 hours. They turn the lights on, they turn their alarm systems on while they're in another country. These people are used to technology. So for you to come along and offer a service like that, it's nothing new to them. They expect it, you know.
Yeah.
They want poison all over the flat or their house or anything like that.
I think your thesis was that it's probably better to not completely ban poison. My personal thesis is that I'm, of course, a little bit more aggressive regarding that because I also see a lot of, but that's totally okay. Everybody needs to have his opinion. But my opinion would be, you know, that pest controllers, we have 3 parties basically that purchase rodenticides, which are pest control professionals, companies. Then we have farmers. And we have private people that can still purchase it in shops. I think we're all on one level when it comes to these last 2 parties. They need to disappear, or farmers need to have way better training because we're actually with rodenticides. We're talking about PBT substances, so persistent bioaccumulative toxic products. And I think us pest controllers, of course, we have already our limitations that each country in Europe, for instance, did. But I think more will come, and I think just as you said, Generation Y, Generation Z, they're not going to demand anything else but a fully non-tox.
They will be the game changers. I think so personally. I'm talking about Europe. You know, we were talking yesterday, and I've talked several times with other people in the UK about Europe, and your regulations now are so powerful compared to ours. You know. Your rodenticide use seems to have just gone boom.
You mean Germany?
Germany, France.
Unfortunately not. You know what happened?
Sweden?
Sweden, but that's a different market. They absolutely. But Sweden is dominated by Anticimex, and they're a very front-running company, very modern and ecological. So
Anticimex is so smart, it's unbelievable. You know? They
know how to do it.
I have a lot of respect for Anticimex. You know.
Kudos to Anticimex. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Kudos, because what they did is definitely they invested into smart. They invested into reducing their rodenticide usage a lot. But in Germany, unfortunately, you know what happened? I don't know if I told you the story, but like 4 years ago, there was a new law in regards to the usage of rodenticide. And normally, you could have, like, let's say you have a bakery and you have a pest control contract, and a pest control service operator could visit your site 6 times a year. And just every time change poison, you know, in the bait boxes. And the new law said not possible anymore if you want to do permanent baiting then you need to be at least at the site once per month. But they said permanent baiting is generally forbidden. Only you could use it if you document that the site needs to do prophylactic baiting because they're next to a river or something. So what the industry did is, or pest managers did, wow, let's just write a pre-written contract and write like a statement, because there was no law that stated exactly how it should look like. They wrote an approval, like every site needed a prophylactic baiting now. And so what they did is they kind of doubled their turnover from 6 visits to, by law, 12 visits, which obviously within the last 3 years, according to what we hear mouth-to-mouth propaganda from people in our industry in Germany, drove up rodenticides like this, like even doubled the amount that was used in Germany, unfortunately. Which the environmental government agency, of course, they're really kind of, I would say, pissed off to use that word, because obviously what they want to do is they wanted to reduce it. So that's the German story, but that's not the end of the story. That's just today. I think this next year definitely things are going to happen.
Right. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
But you see, rodenticide use, if you're putting down a poison, this is my personal take, this is how I used to do it. If I'm putting down poison, I go back daily. I don't go back weekly, monthly. I go back daily. Because if you're there doing it, it doesn't take that long. You're seeing what's going on, you're reacting very quickly, and you're bringing that population under control very quickly. Absolutely. 7 days used to be the total. That's what I aim for. Yeah. Going back every single day. You know, I think you've got a responsibility. You're using a poison. Leaving it 5-6 weeks to me is just, it's not doing its job. Absolutely. Not properly anyway. Yeah. You know.
So what's your vision for the next 5 to 10 years of pest control? You know, we put that survey online. So
talked about this so many times with so many people. Okay, like I said, a lot of people think that rodenticide will be totally banned. I don't. But technology trapping will take hold. But we need people to gain what I call fieldcraft. Learn how to use traps correctly, properly. You don't just set them and put them down and that's it. You've got to know where to set them, where to put them. To me, I always say, if you have trouble getting a trap into an area, that's the best area that trap can be in. That's where the rats and mice are going to go.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of them people just think, oh, that's convenient. I put it there because I can reach it or I can do this with it. That to me is not trapping. You're probably way off the mark. Where it's the most difficult to set and get into, that's where you're going to find your rats and your mice. So learn how to trap properly, like the old guys used to do. You know, my granddad and my dad, they all taught me trapping, and not just for rats and mice, stoats, you know, rabbits, etc.
If you have 1, 2, 3 sentences to advise a pest control business with, like, let's say a small, mid-sized enterprise, not the big ones, they know what they're doing. How shall they prepare for the future for the next 5 to 10 years so they can thrive?
I could wrap that up quite easily. Just learn from the big guys, because look where they're going. Look where they're going. It's all technology. The game leaders, they're using it all the time now. You know, especially the big names. So learn from them. Don't knock on and say they're useless. They can't do this. They can. They're out there. The game leaders. You need to learn from them.
Absolutely.
You know, and stop blaming technicians of these big companies. These guys are under pressure to get so many visits done in a day. Stop blaming the technicians. They're probably demanding more training courses for technology and trapping. You know, that's what we need to do as an industry for training is go out there with the trapping and the technology and teach them. And show you them the value of it. And also how to win contracts and how to make that into monetary contract.
This is what I think you're extremely good at. So maybe in the next Talking Pest Management, we can talk about that. You remember how people can monetize emit or beep, and you had some great concepts around it. So I think we should wrap it up for this first episode. I think you guys watching that, Steve and I would be fascinated and thankful if you would leave your feedback and let us know what you think about it. We're definitely going to do this.
One thing for the city, I would concentrate on the drains. That's where the problem is.
Yeah. Listen to this man. That's probably the most experienced pest controller you can have. So book Steve as a consultant. Hit him up. Steve, where can people find you? LinkedIn?
info@enviropms.co.uk. Yeah, LinkedIn is usually the best.
Yeah. This is a YouTube video, so down in the description we're definitely going to have Steve's email address for his contact. Steve, thank you for your time. It was a pleasure as always.
Okay, it's been a pleasure.
You too. Have a great one.
We'll catch up on that.
Will do. Take care, Mike.
Okay. Cheers, everybody. Bye.